The Dicastery insists that I engage with modern culture. Article 1. How was the story told? Was it objectively well communicated?
Part 1. Visually. Subsection 1. Cinematography. Paragraph 1. Camera. Niall Obstat. Lighting. The effect that the lighting, filters, and exposure wanted to have worked in particular scenes, but not as much as intended. The lights weren't bright enough on dark backgrounds ever to have a real dazzling effect, and at times the daytime lighting would wash out the palette. Section 2. Sets. The city is believable enough for what it intends to be. The colors sell it a lot better than the designs of the rooms or the buildings. The animation for some of the scenes was still notably sparse or lacking in beauty, but less so in the sets than in other places. Section 3. Costumes. The three main characters' costumes are too dark and too edgy, and it makes them look as silly as they do in their loungewear. Their last outfits are notable contrast to this, but it's just contrast, nothing more or deeper. The Sasha boys wear normal clothes on and off stage, which perfectly demonstrates that they're trying to win people over. So then at the end, when they wear their Reaper outfits, it doesn't just provide visual contrast, it also shows how the gentle and casual affect they used earlier was to entice people. Section 4. Editing. Had the editors possessed even the zeal of an evangelical preacher, we might have retained a few more frames to explain ourselves. The movie would cut between scenes without knowledge of how the flow would be affected. Some cuts would appear to function in a question and answer format, but would not work no matter how you spin it. Other cuts would skip over important information for world building or character development. Section 5. Effects. Subsection 2. 3D animation. The animation was poor. It was either plasticky or overly squishy, almost claymation in style, thus not beautiful. And as someone who has witnessed several Vatican art displays, I can assure you this is not the worst thing I've seen, but it's close. Section 6. Action. Subsection 2. Choreography. Paragraph 1. Fight. Uninspired and clearly uninformed. These girls are no Joan of Arc, that's for sure. Not even the Japanese imitation. They swing wildly and without any kind of experience, and it happens to destroy the enemy in front of them. If their voices had been connected to their fights, like using sound waves as weapons, that would have worked much better. Paragraph 2. Dance. Once again, the Sasha boys come out ahead. Their dance choreography looks repeatable and engaging, like a real K-pop boy band would for Soda Pop. And it looks enticing and exciting and magical for Idol.
For the power, more than gold. Yeah, you gave me your heart, now I'm here for your soul.
The girls' dance choreography often relies too much on a mixture of fighting and dancing, and it makes both look worse. It's partly because there are only 3 of them, so coordinated movements in unison aren't very impressive to look at. Even so, they don't do a lot of actual dancing. It's mostly strutting and posing. Part 2. Auditorily. Section 1. Foley. Niall Obstat. Section 2. Music. Subsection 1. Diegetic. A few of the songs are admittedly very clever, and even subtle. Golden, Soda Pop, Idol, Free, and What It Sounds Like, despite any spiritual hazards that Golden and What It Sounds Like contain, the music is worthy of some praise, inasmuch as it facilitates the story this movie is trying to tell. It holds no candle to truly good music, however. Subsection 2. Non-diegetic. Paragraph 1. Score. The film score is well deserving of additional credit. It's often higher quality than most of the musical numbers even. Section 3. Audio mixing. The background sounds drop out in favor of the music, which is good because the movie intends to place emphasis on the lyrics as a part of the narrative, much less than the Foley at least. Part 3. Story. Section 1. Direction. The directing was an impediment. The movie had a destination in mind, but the time and means it took to get there did not include all that it needed to in order to tell the story well. Scenes were either cut out or simply not written to completion. Far too much hung on the audience to piece together. The actor-singer split is often done, but the integrity of the actor-singer split is key. And in this movie, it's rather harsh. It was clear where one stopped and the other started, and that was quite immersion-breaking. It was a particular offense in the case of Genia's voice actor, who sang part of Will He Let the Fire Go Out well enough to make a case for him performing as the character's singer as well. Section 2. Acting. Genia's voice actor comes across as likable and flawed, as this type of antagonist should. He starts and ends the film suave and cool. The other actors have varying levels of success. They will land their lines well, but they're unable to overcome their incomplete arcs. Section 3. Dialogue. Dialogue is separate from both acting and the script writing because it's a combination of the two. The dialogue is well done, more often than it isn't. A lot of it's clever and or funny, which makes the characters more likable and the plot more palatable. Some lines come out of nowhere, and some of it just acts as filler. When the movie is so short, all lines need to be worth something. Section 4. Writing. Subsection 1. The plot follows the latest trio of demon-hunting female pop stars as they try to lock demons out of the overworld forever. However, there is new game in town, as a boy band of demons appears to give them the greatest challenge they've ever faced. The outline of the plot is not so simple. One of the girls is half demon, and she believes that the only way to get rid of that half is to complete the ritual that will seal all the demons away. Further complicate this decision, however, is the fact that this girl develops feelings for the lead of the demon boy band. If you can't tell yet, the plot has issues. It's not too hard to know what's going on, but the conflict is too internal, and there isn't anything compelling about the way the outward narrative unfolds, or what the plot says by comparing the old hunters and the new, or building upon any character or idea. Instead, the conflict is internal, and only when it's acknowledged at the end does the plot progress toward a solution. For most of the movie, we only see it torturing Rumi from the inside, which is okay, but it can't last an entire movie, at least not on its own. Especially not when there's this many other competing characters with arcs that need to be resolved in of themselves. Subsection 2. Characters. Jinu's character is well designed and well written, and has a good arc, all things considered. In his vulnerability, he overcomes the enormity of his dark past at the promptings of Rumi, who believes he can be redeemed. Rumi is the only other character with a real arc, the other two are attached to hers. They only change when it becomes convenient for the plot, not organically or because they're brought here by their choices. Paragraph 1. Relationships. The romance between Jinu and Rumi is okay, unless you think about how dicey it is. Wouldn't Rumi be more wary of demons having relationships with you since her mother presumably had one? For all Rumi knows, Jinu is helping harvest souls, and the audience knows that he is at least facilitating it. Rumi has no excuse not to try to kill him every time she sees him. Section 5. World building. Section 4. Pacing. The movie was too fast in the edit, and in an already too short movie that makes the problem much worse. Article 2. Was it a story worth telling? The main theme is that hiding your shame doesn't work. You have to admit your brokenness and present that brokenness to others to strengthen yourself in them. What a knife's edge that theme runs. It manages to tell the truth falsely by being one step short. You shouldn't be hiding yourself from others, especially not with lies. That will destroy you. You should admit your weakness and press forward, realizing your imperfections. But embracing the brokenness as a part of you is a misunderstanding. It's not you. You are not your shame or your weakness. You can be free of it. At the moral and spiritual center of the movie is a tension that never really resolves. Every other line seems to lean either towards climax being about honest repentance or self-canonization by owning your brokenness. This is where lots of confusion lives. The movie can't be both. And because of the tightrope the story walks in the end, people think it'd be considered a good movie as long as you interpret it in a good way. But the fact that the movie can't resolve its own tension puts it in too much of a precarious position to be recommended or used as an example to uphold good virtue, which is what those that want it to be assume. Basically, just because something can be interpreted in such a way doesn't mean it will always be interpreted in that way. And because it can so credibly be interpreted in another way means the truth is not exemplified in the story. Heresy this is not, but it certainly won't bring you home, and you may hurt yourself in your confusion. In Father Gregory Pine's video, he seems only interested in answering what is good and uses K-pop demon hunters as a subject for this discussion. He does not extend into recommendation or review. I'm here to fill in that gap. But he does give tools to figure out how this movie can be used to the greatest benefit based on its popularity and people's impressions of it. In Jonathan Pajot's video, he gets the symbolism of the movie correct. And beyond what he mentions about patterns, music, and presenting your idiosyncrasies, which are also correct, I would add gold being replaced with white and rainbow, healing only happens amongst your girls, and a friendship, and a man must sacrifice himself to a woman so she can self-actualize. The problem is that this movie is confused, somewhat in what it wants to be and how to tell it. Pajot is correct about what these symbols are and what they are normally used for, but as he also says, depends on the context. They are in contradiction to the movie's intended goals and story. The movie is more Christian in nature than it's not, but it only has the bad and evil symbols of modern identity politics to tell that story. This actually redeems some of these symbols inside the movie itself, as their intention matters more than their common use. A secular world can still trace patterns, Christian, in its symbols and arcs. The demon killing was nice while it lasted, though Doom does better theology.